What is up, everybody? It's your boy Bishop bringing you another Black Ops 3 video. Today I kind of wanted to go over my class setups, my reasoning behind how I have everything set up, specialists that I use and when I use them, and kind of maybe give you guys another perspective of maybe a different way that you guys could play the game or a different way of looking at it. Because I see a lot of class setup videos coming out. I think I watched Scumpy had 2 come out where he had a SMG 1, he had an assault rifle 1. But I'm basically going to show you how I have my class setups and just maybe a different way that that you guys can look at it than maybe some other people. Different perspectives are always a good thing. So first and foremost, we're going to just get into the creative class here. You can see I have my classes up here, the top 3 named, and the last 2 are just kind of a generic name, and I'll get into why that is. I have, in Black Ops 3, I've become, honestly, more of an SMG player. Surprising to me, I've always been an AR guy. I've always enjoyed playing at a distance, but it seems like in this version, the SMGs, the range is not bad on these 3. They're good enough that I feel like I can compete at some distances with other assault rifles, because obviously being a SMG person, you're going to be running and getting into the shorter range gunfights, and your fire rates are going to help you more against an assault rifle person. But to kind of get into it, you're going to see my classes here and what I do, and I'll kind of go over why I do what I do with these. So to start, you see the first one is named Pharaoh, so let's get in here. Not select the Razorback, let's select the Pharaoh instead. Now, a lot of people don't use optics. I'm going to let you guys know right now, I use a lot of optics on guns you might not, so it's your personal preference. But I've always enjoyed having a normal sight rather than iron sights, but if you don't want to spend the point, that's fine. I completely understand that. But first I want to get into the perks, because I do something that's a little bit different than I see most people doing. I'll run the perk 1 Greed. Reason being is because I want my Afterburner and my overclocks on my on all 3 of my SMG classes. Gets me around the map quicker to have my thrusters recharge faster. I can run from wall to wall, and you don't have to worry so much about not being able to jump and kind of glide yourself in the air. And then the overclock, because I want to earn my specialist as much as I can in a respawn game mode, so that I can use it to help us get the win. Perk 2, I always go with fast hands. Ante-up doesn't really come into play much for me. Reason behind that is because I play in Arena League a lot, way more than I do pubs. I prefer the Arena League. Pubs just can frustrate the crap out of me. Hardwired, there's not always a lot of UAVs. UAVs get banned a lot in Arena as well. So there's not always a sense, a need for that. The only time it kind of hurts not have it is smoke screens, and trip mines. I don't see a lot of C4s and shock charges being used. Scavenger, obviously in Arena you're not really alive long enough to use Scavenger all the time. Cold-blooded, doesn't really matter because there's not a lot of score streaks that come in. And Tracker, a lot of people run, what's the counter to that? I want to say it's either Blind Eye or, what's it called? Dead Silence. But, so Tracker doesn't really come into effect here. So Fast Hands is just the best one. Obviously you can swap weapons faster and aim faster after sprinting with it. And then lastly, I always use Blast Suppressor. I don't want people to hear me coming. You might be able to hear my footsteps if you're running awareness, but if you're not, I've seen plenty of times where nobody has even realized that I was coming up behind them. So I always run Blast Suppressor. Now to get to the gun, like I said, I like using optics. I'm a big fan of the ELO. It's just like having an iron sight to me, but with a dot on it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the quick draw on and the grip. I like to have my guns as accurate as I can. As you can see how much the sight, the quick draw, and the grip put my accuracy up on this weapon. And then lastly, what we're going to do here is throw on a thermite. I love using the thermites. They sit there and burn. I have a feeling these are going to get banned eventually when the beta starts or stops rather, and we start playing the arena stuff with any banned with all the banned items removed on December 1st. But for right now, I like using it. It's my go-to. If you want to though, the only other change I might make to this is I'll get rid of the lethal and I'll get rid of the optics and I'll put on my greed and I'll toss out long barrel. Okay, that's the only other way that I would play with this setup. But like I said, I like having the thermite because it can sit there and it'll burn for a while. So that's my preferred way to run it for right now while I can use the thermite. If it goes away, I'll change up and follow the rules like they want them. Okay, so that's basically my Pharaoh setup. Elo, quick draw, grip. Like I said, I want the gun as accurate as I can. The range on the gun is already pretty good for an SMG, so I just wanted to up the accuracy of it. Moving on to the Kuda, which honestly was my favorite gun in the beta, but it's actually kind of taken a little bit of a back seat for me, and now that the full game is released, I'll do the same thing again here. Overclock, afterburner, fast hands, and blast suppressor. Okay, I'll throw the thermite on, and then with this here, I'll use the Elo again. Like I said, I love the Elo sights. The Elo sights are just like having just an iron sight. It was a great idea, and I love what they did with it. And then again with this one here, I'm just going to put on the quick draw and the grips. Like I said, the range on this gun is ridiculous. So for an SMG rather, it's ridiculous. So I just want to make sure that I'm nice and accurate with this one here. Okay. Now here's one here's a little bit different. You're going to go into the VMP. I know everybody loves this because the fire rate, the damage, and the range on it. Obviously, we all know the accuracy isn't the greatest. Some people are seeing the Vesper being used a lot, but I also see it getting banned a lot in arena play. So I stick with the VMP. And quite honestly, with the setups, if a VMP gets banned and the Vesper is there, I'll just go in and I'll just change this. I mean, obviously, the name doesn't really matter. I can name the class whatever I want to. I can go in here and I can put SMG on all three of these. But I name them the guns. It's quicker when I'm in the menus in between respawns to know which gun I want to get. So with the VMP though, I do not use let me just go down here and get these guys set up. Sorry, I kind of lost train of thought. So again, overclock and afterburner, fast hands, and then blast suppressor. But this one here, I don't throw on the lethal. The reason why is because I'm going to put on a quick draw and the grip. Okay, but then I'm going to also use the wild card on this sucker because on this gun here, I like using the long barrel. Okay, as you can see, the accuracy got put up enough. I mean, if you want to put on stock, that's fine. That'll just get you more accuracy, but it moves you so quickly that it can take you off target sometimes. You can put on laser sight too, has the same effect, better for the hip fire. But this I would prefer to have the little bit more range. Okay, I can control the accuracy pretty well, so I'll put on the range instead. Like I said, this one here doesn't carry any lethals or tacticals. As you can see, I never use secondaries. Honestly, I haven't trained myself well enough yet to be able to get used to having a secondary. I did start with putting pistols on my setups, but when I get into firefights, sometimes I panic and I forget and I run out of ammo and I forget that I had a backup weapon, and that just kind of irks me a little bit when I had a gun and I didn't kill the guy because I forgot to switch weapons again. So it's just my own stupidity coming out to play. But moving on with the assault stuff, these two can honestly be used for any assault weapon. I'm going to set it up with my two favorite guns, but I only use these for S&Ds. Like I said, with these three, I'm more of an objective player. Okay, the stats aren't working on this game correctly yet, so otherwise I would show them to you so you guys could see my my stats. But if you watched my previous video, I believe I titled it something like my dream/goal or something like that. If you watch that video, you'll see that I held the hard point for over 3 minutes in a match and led my team in kills. It was, ridiculous. I love playing the OBJs, and that's always what I'll do. But for the assault weapons, like I said, I use these for S&D only. XR2 is just a ridiculously awesome weapon. But with these, I actually will not use all of my perks. Okay, I will use overclock. Because I want to earn that specialist weapon in an S&D. You can use Afterburner, if you want to, is fine. I don't see any sense to use any of these. Ghost, no. Sixth Sense is actually already banned in competitive, so it's going to be banned in arena, I'm sure. Blind Eye and S&D, if you get a UAV, then obviously it wasn't banned, but it's very, uh, it's very rare. Plus, there's no real streaks that are used that this comes in handy for. Flak Jacket, not a lot of people use nades in S&D, so if anything, I'm going to go with Overclock here. And then on perk 3, I'm going to put on Blast Suppressor, but here's where I also put on Dead Silence. Now, if Dead Silence gets banned when I'm in the mid, when we're starting the game, okay, it's not hard to go in here and remove this. Okay, if anything, if I need to remove it, I can take it off and I can throw on another attachment on my gun really quick. But to start, I like having the Dead Silence on for my perk 3 Greed. Now with S&D, I always use the BOA3. You can use the ELO, you can use the Reflex. I haven't actually used these two that much, or these three that much. They zoom in too far for the way that I play. I like using the BOA3 because obviously it lights up green when it's a good guy, lights up red if it's a bad guy, yada yada. Attachments will be Quick Draw and Grip. Okay, up that accuracy. Okay, I'm going to put on the Greed there, and then you can use what you want here. I prefer to just try and keep my guns as balanced as possible. Yeah, you can go with high caliber, but it only does headshot damage. Okay, I prefer the long barrel so that I can kind of take my time. In S&D, I play a lot slower than anything else. Okay, so I like to shoot at a range. I peek corners. I do things like that. I don't just like run up to people and try and shoot them. So I like to be able to take them out for as much of a distance as I can. And like I said, if you do see Dead Silence get banned, or if this gets banned, or if this gets banned before the game, you can always go ahead and get rid of them, change them out. If Dead Silence goes away and you just get rid of perk 3 Greed, go up here and toss on another attachment. Okay, this is where you can throw high caliber on again if you want to, or you can put on rapid fire. Those would be my first two options. Okay, obviously rapid fire helps the gun cycle quicker. High caliber, you get that extra bonus headshot damage. So that's in a worst case scenario if Blast Suppressor if Dead Silence gets banned. Okay. Now basically what I can do is I can copy this and I can just put it down here and just replace the gun. My next favorite, a lot of people like the M8A7, okay, but I'm a bigger fan of the Man of War. I love the Man of War. You can see the balance on it. It's just balanced down the board, just like the XR2 is. It's a balanced gun. They all have quality everything. So my problem with the M8A7 is the damage. Damage is very low, and yes, you can up it. You can do whatever you want to it, but for me, the Man of War is the way for me to go. Again, same perks as before, okay? But again, I'm going to put on that BOA3. I'm going to put on the Quick Draw and the Grip. Then I'm going to go on down here. And again, you can do high caliber if you want to. Again, I'm going to do long barrel. Now, the one thing that I do see myself doing a lot on this is I'll remove Dead Silence quite often, okay? And the reason for that is because I put on rapid fire on the sucker. Okay, look how just like overpowered you can build this gun to be. Okay, if you want to get really stupid and not care about anything, okay, toss on that perk 3 Greed, then toss on high caliber. Okay, I mean the gun can be ridiculously overpowered if you just go crazy with it. And I've played with it many times like this. It can be a fast killing gun as well. I mean, I've put people down very quickly with that gun built that way. But for the purposes of this, I want to go ahead and I want to keep things the way that they were. What did I forget here? Oh yeah. Okay. So, like I said, this is the way that I set myself up. These are my two S&Ds. As I said, I move very slowly. I don't run around the maps like crazy. These are going to be my respawns, okay, my uplinks, my capture the flags. In the case of something like capture the flag, don't run a tactical, okay, or a lethal if you don't have to. In those game modes, I'll remove the optics and I'll toss on a perk 3 Greed and do whatever I can to up the power of my gun. But that's just kind of my thinking. So, like I said, this is a couple ways that you can you can look at stuff a couple of different ways that maybe, not everybody's going to play the same way. But the biggest thing that I find from this is that this keeps it so that I'm working with so many different guns, and I can interchange so many different guns. Like I said, I can go in here and I can toss on the M8A7, and I can be just fine. And I can just toss everything on here because, say, the XR2 got banned by somebody in the pregame lobby. No problem. I'll go in here and I'll toss on the M8A7, and I'll come in and I'll be fine. I can use that. That's not a problem. But for me, I'm noticing that you need to be very, very balanced in Black Ops 3 because in arena mode, because of the ban issues, because of the fact that people are banning a lot of the stuff that you can use in the games. So you need to be as versatile as you can be. You need to be able to go, okay, well, guess what? My Pharaoh just got banned, so now I'm gonna have to use the Kuda. But when you edit your class now, you can go in here and I can toss the Vesper on because the Vesper didn't get banned, but the Pharaoh did. So being able to use all of these and be effective with all of these is my main reason for wanting to have all sorts of different guns. Like you'll see a lot of people that are going to use the same 3 SMGs, the same SMG 3 different times, but have little, perk 1 difference, perk 2, perk 3, a different attachment. They might run a lethal or a tactical, but to me, they're just used to using one gun. And for me, I'd much rather be all around, be able to use all the sorts of different guns, and be able to adjust to what might have been banned without any loss of me being able to be somebody who is effective for the team and can help the team win. So, like I said, that's just a kind of a little look into what I do and how I've been playing the game. So far, it's been successful. I mean, I have a 3.0 win-loss ratio right now in Arena League. So I'm winning, a lot of matches. And quite often have been carrying the teams because I've been able to be so versatile with all my different weapons. So, like I said, these are just some things that I do. Other people's going to run things different. Find out what works best for you. Maybe I can help. Maybe I just helped you guys open up your eyes a little bit. So, take away with us what you need to, and do me a favor, slash that like button, subscribe, and make sure you guys stay tuned for more. Take care. You got to